Tagore poems. Stream of life. Beautiful. God, I love you, Let your work be. Bride, listen. The guest has come. Do you hear? He's gently shaking the chain which fastens the door. See that your anklets make no loud noise and that your step is not overhurried at meeting him. Let your work be bright, and the guest had come in the evening. No, it is not the ghostly wind, bride. Do not be frightened. It is the full moon of the night, April. Shadows are pale in the courtyard. The sky overhead is bright. Draw your veil over your face if you must. Carry the lamp to the door if you fear. No, it is not the ghostly wind, bride. Do not be frightened. Have no word with him if you are shy. Stand aside by the door when you meet him. If he asks you a question and if you do wish to, you can lower your eyes in silence. Do not let your restless jingle when, lamp in hand, you lead him in. Have no words with him if you are shy. Have you not finished your work yet, bride? Listen, the guest has come. Have you not fit the lamp in the coal shed? Have you not got ready the offering basket for the evening service? Have you not put the red lucky mark at the parting of your hair and done your toilet for the night? Oh bride, do you hear? The guest has come. Let your work be. The gardener, come as you are. Come as you are, do not loiter over your toilet. If your braided hair has loosened, if the parting of your head be not straight, if the ribbons of your bodice be not fastened, do not mind. Come as you are, do not loiter over your toilet. Come with quick steps over the grass. If the rattle come from your feet because of the dew of the rings of bells upon your feet slacken, if pearls drop out of your chain, do not mind. Come with quick steps over the grass. Do you see the clouds wrapping the sky? Flocks of rains fly up from the further river bank, and fitful gusts of the wind rush over the heath. The anxiety's cattle run to their stalls in the village. Do you see the loud cloud wrapping the sky? In vain your light, your toilet lamp, it flickers and goes out in the wind. Who can know that your eyelids have not been touched with lamp black? For your eyes are darker than rain clouds. In vain your light, your toilet lamp, it goes out. Come as you are, do not loiter over your toilet. If the wreath is not woven, who cares? If the wrist chain has not been linked, let it be. The sky is overcast with clouds, it is late. Come as you are, do not loiter over your toilet. I asked nothing. Only stood at the edge of the wood behind the tree language was still upon the eyes of the dawn, and the dew in the air, the lazy smell of the damp grass, hung in the thin mist about the earth under the banyan tree. You were milking the cow with your hands, tender and fresh as butter, and I was standing still. I did not say a word. It was the bird that sang unseen from the thicket. The mango tree was shading his flowers upon the village road, and the bees came humming one by one on the side of the pond. The gate of the Shiva's temple was open, and the worshipper had begun its chants. With the vessel on your lap, you were milking the cow. I stood with my empty can. I did not come near you. The sky woke with the sound of the gong at the temple. The dust was risen that rolled from the hoofs of the driven cattle with a gurgling which was as their hips. Women came from the river, your breastlets were jingling and foam brimming over the jar. The morning poured on, and I did not come near you. I was walking by the road. I do not know why. When the noonday was past and bamboo branches rustled in the wind, the prone shadows with their outstretched arms clung to the feet of the hurrying light. The quails were weary of their songs. I was walking by the road. I do not know why. The hut by the side of the water is shaded by an overhanging tree. Someone was busy with her work, and her bangles made music in the corner. I stood before the hut. I know not why. The narrow winding road crosses many a mustard field and many a mango forest. It passes by the temple of the village and the market at the river landing place. I stopped by this hut. I do not know why. Years ago it was a day of breezy March, when the murmur of the spring was languorous and mango blossoms were dropping on the dust. The rippling water leapt and licked the brass vessel that stood on the landing stair. I think of that day of busy March. I do not know why. Shadows are deepening and cattle returning to their folds. The light is grey upon the lonely meadows, and the villagers are waiting for the ferry at the bank. I slowly return upon my steps. I do not know why. The gardener, you walked. You walked by the riverside path with a full pitcher upon your hip. Why did you swiftly turn your face and peep at me through your fluttering veil? That gleaming look from the dark came upon me like a breeze that sends a shiver through the rippling water and sweeps away to the shadowy shore. It came to me like the bird of the evening that hurriedly flies across the lamp-lit room from the one open window to the other and disappears in the night. You are hidden as a star behind the hills, and I am a passerby upon the road. But why did you stop for a moment and glance at my face through your veil while you walked by the riverside path with a full pitcher upon your hip? Garden, unbelieving smile. An unbelieving smile flits on your eyes when I come to you to take my leave. I have done it so often that you think I will soon return to tell you the truth. I have the same doubt in my mind. For the spring days come again time after time. The full moon takes leaves and comes on another visit. The flowers come again and blush upon their branches year after year. And it is likely that I take my leave only to come to you again, but keep the illusion a while. Do not send it away with ungentle haste. When I say I leave you for all time, accept it as true and let a mist of tears for one moment deepen the dark rim of your eyes. Then smile as archy as you like when I come again. Oh, mad, superbly drunk. Oh, mad, superbly drunk, if you kick open your doors and play the fool in public, if you empty your bag in the night and snap your fingers at prudence, if you walk in curious paths and play with the useless things, wreck not rhyme or reason, if unfurling your sails before the storm you snap the rudder in two, then I will follow you, comrade, and be drunken and go to the dogs. I have wasted my days and nights in the company of steady wise neighbors. Much knowing has turned my head grey, and much watching has made my sight dim. For years I have gathered and heaped up scraps and fragments of things, crushed them and danced upon them and scattered them all to the winds. For I know it's the height of the wisdom to be drunken and go to the dogs. Let all the scruples vanish. Let me hopelessly lose my way in a gust of wild guiltiness. Come and sweep me away from the anchors. The world is peopled with worthies and workers, useful and clever. There are men who are easily first and men who come decently after. Let them be happy and prosper. Let me be foolishly futile, for I know it is the end of all works to be drunken and go to the dogs. I swear to surrender this moment all claims in the ranks of the decent. I'll let go of my pride of learning and judgment of right and of wrong. I'll shatter memory's vessel, scattering the last drop of tears. With the foam of the very red wine, I will bathe and brighten my laughter. The badge of the civil and state I'll tear into shreds for the nuns. I will take the holy vow to be worthless, to be drunken, and go to the dogs. No, my friends. No, my friends, I shall never be an ascetic, whatever you may say. I shall never be an ascetic if she does not take the vow with me. It is my firm resolve that if I cannot find a shady shelter and a companion for my penance, I shall never turn ascetic. No, my friends, I shall never leave my hearth and home and retire into the forest solitude. It rings no merry laughter into the echoing shed, and if in the end of saffron mantle the flutters in the wind, if its silence is not deepened but the soft whispers, I shall never be an ascetic. Reverend Sir, forgive. Reverend Sir, forgive this year. Despair of the sinner, spring winds today, blowing in the wild eddies, driving dust and dead leaves away, and with them your lessons for are all lost. Do not say, Father, that life is a vanity, for we have made truce with death for once, and only for a few fragrant hours we too have been made immortal. Even if the king's army came and fiercely fell upon us, we should sadly shake our heads and say, brothers, you are disturbing us. If you must have this noisy game, go and clatter your arms elsewhere, since only for a few fleeting moments we have been made immortal. If friendly people came and flocked around us, we should humbly bow to them and say, this extravagant good fortune is an embarrassment to us. Room is scarce in the infinite sky we dwell, for in the springtime flowers come in crowds and the busy wings of bees jostle each other. Our little heaven where dwell only we two immortals is too absolutely narrow. To the guest. To the guest that must be go bid, Godspeed and brush away all traces of their steps. Take to your bosom with a smile what is easy and simple and here. Today is the festival of phantoms that know not when they die. Let your laughter be but a meaningless mirth, like twinkles of light on the ripples. Let your life lightly dance on the edges of time like dew on the tip of a leaf. Strike and cause from your harp fitfully momentary rhythms. You left me. You left me and went on your way. I thought I would mourn for you and set your solitary image in my heart, wrought in a golden song. But my evil fortune, time is short. Youth wanes year after year, and the spring days are fugitive. The frail flowers die for nothing, and wise man warned me that life is but a dewdrop of the lotus leaf. Should I neglect all this to gaze after one who has turned her back on me? That would be rude and foolish, for time is short. This time, my very nights with pattering feet, smile my golden autumn, come careless April, scattering and kisses abroad. You come and you also, my love. You know we are mortals. Is it wise to break one's heart for the one who takes her heart away? For time is short. It is swept to sit in a corner, to muse and write rhymes that you are all my world. It is heroic to hug one's sorrow and determine not to be consoled. But a fresh face peeps across my door and raises eyes to my eyes. I cannot but wipe away my tears and change the tune of my song, for time is short. The gardener, free me. Free me from the bonds of your sweetness, my love. No more of this wine of kisses. This mist of heavy incense stifles my heart. Open the doors. Make room for the morning light. I'm lost in you, wrapped in the folds of caresses. Free me from the spells and give me back the manhood of you, my freed heart. Hands cling to eyes. Hands cling to hands, eyes linger on eyes. Thus begins the record of our hearts. It is the moonlit night of March. The sweet smell of henna is in the air. My flute lies on the earth, neglected, and your garland of flower is unfinished. This love between you and me is as simple as a song. Your wheel of the saffron color makes my eyes drunk, the jasmine dry, that you woo me thrills to my heart like praise. It is a game of giving and withholding, revealing and screening again, some smiles and some little shyness and some sweet useless struggles. This love between you and me is simple as a song. No mystery beyond the present, no striving for the impossible, no shadow behind the charm, no groping in the depth of the dark. This love between you and me is as simple as a song. We do not stray out of all words into the ever silent. We do not raise our hands to the void for things beyond hope. It is enough that we give and we give. We have not crushed the joy of the utmost to drink from it the wine of pain. This love between you and me is simple as a song. When two sisters go to fetch water, they come to this spot and they smile. They must be aware of somebody who stands behind the trees whenever they go to fetch water. The two sisters whisper to each other when they pass this spot. They must have guessed the secret of that somebody who stands behind the trees whenever they go to fetch water. Their pitchers lurch suddenly and water spills when they reach this spot. They must have found out that somebody's heart is beating who stands behind the trees whenever they go to fetch water. The two sisters glance at each other when they come to this spot and they smile. There is a laughter in their sweet stepping feet which makes confusion in somebody's mind who stands behind the trees whenever they go to fetch water. Day after day he comes. Day after day he comes and goes away. Go and give him a flower from my head. My friend, if he asks you who was it that said it, I entreat you to do not tell him my name, for he only comes and goes away. He sits on the dust under the trees, spread there at seat with flowers and leaves, my friend. His eyes are sad and they bring sadness to my heart. He does not speak when he has in mind. He only comes and goes away. Why did he choose? Why did he choose to come to my door, the wandering youth, when the day dawned? As I come in and out, I pass by him every time, and my eyes are caught by his face. I know not if I should speak to him or keep silence. Why did he choose to come to my door? The cloudy night of July are dark. The sky is soft blue in the autumn, the spring stays are restless with the south wind. He leaves his song with fresh tunes every time I turn from my work and my eyes filled with the mist. Why did he choose to come to my door when she passed by me? When she passed by me with quick steps and end of her skirt touched me from the unknown island of her heart came a certain warm breath of spring. A flutter of flitting touch brushed me and vanished in a moment like a torn flower petal down in a breeze. It fell upon my heart like a sigh of her body and a whisper of her heart. Do not keep to yourself. Do not keep to yourself the secret of your heart, my friend. Say it to me or only to me in secret. You who smile so gently, softly whisper, my heart will hear it, not my ears. The night is deep and the house is silent. The bird's nests are shrouded with sleep. Speak to me through hesitating tears, through faltering smiles, through sweet shame and pain, the secret of your heart. Speak to me, my love. Speak to me, my love, tell me in words what you sang. The night is dark, the stars are lost in clouds. The wind is sighing through the leaves. I will let loose my head. My blue cloak will cling round me like night. I will clasp my head to my bosom and there's a sweet loneliness murmur on your heart. I will shut my eyes and listen. I will not look into your face when your words are ended. We will sit still and silent. Only the trees will whisper in the dark. The night will pale. The day will dawn, we shall look at each other's eyes and go on our different paths. Speak to me, my love, tell me the words that you sang. What comes from your willing hands? What comes from your willing hands? I take, I beg for nothing more. Yes, yes, I know the modest mendicant you ask for all that one has. If there be a stray flower for me, I will wear it in my heart. But if there be thorns, I will endure them. Yes, yes, I know you, modest mendicant, you ask for all that one has. But if but once you should raise your loving eyes to my face, it would make my life sweet beyond that. But if there be only cruel glances, I will keep them piercing my heart. Yes, yes, I know you, modest mendicant, you ask for all that one has. Trust love. Trust love. If it brings sorrow, do not close up your heart. I know, my friend, your words are dark. I cannot understand them. Pleasure is spread like a dewdrop. While it laughs, it dies. But sorrow is strong and abiding as sorrow love may wake in your eyes. Ah, no, my friend, your words are dark. I cannot understand them. The lotus bloom in the sight of the sun and loses all that it has. It would not remain in the bud in the eternal winter mist. Ah, no, my friend, your words are dark. I cannot understand them. Your questioning eyes are so sad. They seek to know my meaning as the moon would fathom the sea. I have bared my life before your eyes from end to end with nothing hidden or held back. This is why you know me not. If it were only a gem, I would break it into 100 pieces and string them into a chain to put on your neck. If it were only a flower wrapped in small and sweet, I would pluck it from your stem to set it in your hair. But it is the heart, my beloved, where are its shores and its bottom. You know not the limits of this kingdom. Still you are its queen. If it were only a moment of pleasure, it would flower in an easy smile, and you could see it and read it in a moment. If it were merely a pain, it would melt in limpid tears, reflecting its inmost secret without a word. But it is love, my beloved. It is pleasure and pain and boundless and endless. It's wants and wealth. It is as near to you as your life, but you can never fully know it. Do not go, my love. Do not go, my love, without asking my leave. I have watched all night and now my eyes are heavy with sleep. I fear lest I lose you when I am sleeping. Do not go, my love, without asking my leave. I started and stretched my hands to touch you. I asked myself, is it a dream? Could I but entangle your feet with my heart and hold them fast to my breast? Do not go, my love, without asking my leave. My love, once upon a time. My love, once upon a time. Your poet launched a great epic in his mind. Alas, I was not careful, and it struck your ringing anklets and came to grief. It broke up into scraps of song and lay scattered at your feet. All my cargo of stories of old wars was tossed by the laughing waves and soaked in tears and sank. You must make this loss good to me, my love, in my claim to immortal fame after death. ask God to make me immortal while I live, and I will not mourn for my loss nor blame you, the gift. I want to give you something, my child, for we are drifting in the stream of the world. Our lives will be carried apart and our love forgotten, but I'm not so foolish as to hope that I could buy your heart with my gifts. Young is your life, your path long, and you drink the love we bring you at one draught on turn and run away from us. You have your play and your playmates. What harm is there if you have no time or thought for us? We indeed have leisure enough for in old age to count the days that are past, to cherish in our hearts that our hands have lost forever. The river runs swift with a song breaking through all barriers, but the mountain stays and remembers and follows her with his love, the golden boat. Clouds rumbling in the sky, teeming rain. I sit on the river bank, sad and alone. The sheaves lie gathered, harvest has ended. The river is swollen and the fierce in its flow. As we cut the paddy, it started to rain. One small paddy field, no one but me. Flood waters twisting and swirling everywhere. Trees on the far bank smear shadows like ink. On a village painted on deep morning grey, on the side of the paddy field, no one but me. Who is this staring close to the shore singing? I feel that she is someone I know. The sails are filled with wide. She gazes ahead, waves break helplessly against the boat's east side. I watch and I feel I have seen her face before. Oh, to what fate land do you sail? Come to the bank and move your boat for a while. Go where you want to and give where you care to. But come to the bank for a moment. Show your smile. Take away my golden paddy when you sail. Take it as much as you can load. Is there more? No, none. I have put it abroad. Aboard maintains labor here forth by the river. I have parted with it all layer upon layer. Now take me as well. Be kind. Take me aboard. No room, no room. The boat is too small, loaded with my golden paddy. The boat is full across the rainy sky. Clouds heavy to and fro on the bare river bank. I remain alone. What has gone? The golden boat took it all. Wow, the hero! Mother, let us imagine we are traveling and passing through a strange and dangerous country. You are riding in a palanquin and I am trotting by you on a red horse. In the evening, the sun goes down. The west of the Jodhigi lies wan and grey before us. The land is desolate and barren. You are frightened and thinking, I know not where you have come to. I say to you, Mother, do not be afraid. The meadow is pricky with spiky grass, and through it runs a narrow broken path. There are no cattle to be seen in the wide field. They have gone to their village stalls. It grows dark and dim on the land and sky, and we cannot tell where we are going. Suddenly you call me and ask me in a whisper, what light is that near the bank? Just then there bursts out a fearful yell, and figures come running towards us. You sit crouched in the palanquin and repeat the name of the gods in prayer. The bearers, shaking in terror, hide themselves in the thorny bush. I shout to you, don't be afraid, Mother, I'm here. With long sticks in their hands and hair all wild about their heads, they come nearer and nearer. I shout, have a care, you villains, one step more and you are dead men. They give another terrible yell and rush forward. You clutch my hand and say, dear boy, for heaven's sake, keep away from them. I say, Mother, just you watch me. Then I spare my horse for a wild gallop, and my sword and buckler clash against each other. The fight becomes so fearful, Mother, that it would give you a cold shudder. Could you see it from your palanquin? Many of them fly and a great number are cut to pieces. I know you're thinking, sitting all by yourself, that your boy must be dead by this time. But I come to you all stained with blood and say, Mother, the fight is over now. You come out and kiss me, pressing me to your heart, and say to yourself, I don't know what I should do if I hadn't my boy to escort me. 1,000 useless things happen day after day, and why couldn't such a thing come true by chance? It would be like a story in a book. My brother would say, is it possible? I always thought he was so delicate. Our village people would all say, Namasmin, was it not lucky that the boy was with his mother at the home? I paced alone on the road across the field while the sunset was hiding its last gold like a miser. The daylight sank deeper and deeper into the darkness, and the widowed land, whose harvest had been reaped, lay silent. Suddenly, a boy's shrill voice rose into the sky. He traversed the dark unseen, leaving the track of his song across the hush of the evening. His village home lay there at the end of the westland. Beyond, there is sugarcane field, hidden among the shadows of the banana and the slender areca palm, the coconut and the dark green jackfruit trees. I stopped for a moment in my lonely way under the starlight and saw spread before me the darkened earth surrounded with her arms, countless homes furnished with cradles and beds, mothers' hearts and evening lamps, and young lives glad with a gladness that knows nothing of a smile for the world. The journey. The morning sea of the silence broke into ripples of bird songs, and the flowers were all merry by the roadside, and the wealth of gold was scattered through the rift of the clouds. While we busily went on our way and paid no heed. We sang no glad songs nor played, we went to the village for barter. We spoke not a word nor smiled, we lingered not on the way. We quickened our pace more and more as the time sped by. The sun rose to the mid-sky and doves cooed in the shade. Withered leaves danced and whirled in a hot air of noon. The shepherd boy drowsed and dreamed in the shadow of the banyan tree, and I laid myself down by the water and stretched my tired limbs on the grass. My companions laughed at me in scorn. They held their heads high and hurried on. They never looked back nor rested. They vanished in the distant blue haze. They crossed many meadows and hills and passed through strange faraway countries. All honor to you, heroic host of the interminable path. Mockery and reproach pricked me to rise and found no response in me. I gave myself for lost in the depth of the glad humiliation, in the shadow of dim delight. The repose of the sun embroidered green gloom slowly spread over my heart. I forgot for what I had travelled, and I surrendered my mind without struggle to the mess of shadows and songs. At last, when I woke from my slumber and opened my eyes, I saw thee standing by me, flooding my sleep with thy smile. How I had feared that the path was long and wearisome, and the struggle to reach thee was hard. The judge. Say of him what you please, but I know my child's failings. I do not love him because he is gone, but because he is my little child. How should you know how dear he can be when you try to weigh his merits against his faults? When I must punish him, he becomes all the more a part of my being. When I cause his fears to come, my heart weeps with him. I alone have a right to blame and punish, for he only may chastise who loves. The kiss. Lips languish to lips' ears, two drinking each other's heart, it seems, two rowing loves who have left home pilgrims to the conference of lips. Two waves rise by the law of love to break and die on two sets of lips. Two wild desires craving each other meet at last at the body's limits. Love's writing a song in dainty letters, layers of kiss calligraphy on lips. Plucking flowers from two sets of lips, perhaps to thread them into a chain letter. The sweet union of lips is a great marriage bed of a pair of smiles, the land of the exile. Mother, the light has grown grey in the sky. I do not know what the time is. There is no fun in my play, so I have come to you. It is Saturday of a holiday. Leave off your work, mother. Sit here by the window and tell me where the desert of Tepinter in the fairy tale is. The shadow of the rains has covered the day from end to end. The fierce lightning is scratching the sky with its nails when the clouds rumble and it thunders. I love to be afraid in my heart and cling to you. When the heavy rain patters for hours on the bamboo leaves and our windows shake and rattle at the gusts of the wind, I like to sit alone in the room, mother, with you and hear you talk about the desert of Tepinter in the fairy tale. Where is it, mother? On the shore of what sea? At the foot of what hills? Is the kingdom of what kings? There are no hedges there to mark the fields, no footpath across by which the villagers reach their village in the evening, or the woman who gather dry sticks in the forest can bring her load to the market. With patches of yellow grass in the sand and only one tree where the pair of the wise old birds have their nest lies the desert of Tepinter. I can imagine how, on just such a cloudy day, the young son of the king is riding alone on the grey horse through the desert in search of the princess who lies imprisoned in the giant's palace across the unknown water. When the haze of the rain comes down the distant sky and lightning stars up like a sudden fit of pain, does he remember his unhappy mother abandoned by the king, sweeping the cause tall and wiping her eyes while he rides through the desert of Tepet in a fairy tale? See, mother, it is almost dark before the day is over, and there are no travelers yonder on the village road. The shepherd boy has gone home early from the pasture. The men have left their fields to sit on mass under the eaves of their huts, watching the scowling clouds. Mother, I have left all my books on the shelf. Do not ask me to do my lessons now. When I grow up, am bid like my father, I shall learn all that must be learned. But just for today, tell me, mother, where the desert of the Tepet, the fairy tale is, the last bargain. Come and hire me, I cried, while the morning I was walking on the stone-paved road. Sword in hand, the king came in his chariot. He held my hand and said, I will hire you with my power. But his power counted for naught, and he went away in his chariot. In the heat of the midday, the houses stood with shut doors. I wandered along the crooked lane. An old man came out of his bag of gold. He pondered and said, I will hire you with my money. He weighed his coins one by one, but I turned away. In the evening, the garden hedge was all aflower. The fair maid came out and said, I will hire you with a smile. Her smile paled and melted into the tears, but she went back alone in the dark. The sun glistened on the sand. The sea waves broke awkwardly. A child sat playing with shells. He raised his head and seemed to know me, and I said, I'll hire you with nothing. From thenceforward, the bargain stuck in the child's play made me a free man. The little big man. I'm small because I'm a little child. I shall be big when I'm as old as my father is. My teacher will come and say, it is late, bring your slate and your books. I shall tell him, do you not know I'm as big as father and I must not have lessons anymore? The master will wonder and say, he can leave his books if he likes, for he's a grown man. I shall dress myself and walk in the fair where the crowd is thick. My uncle will come rushing up to me and say, you will get lost, my boy. Let me carry you. I shall answer, can't you see, uncle? I'm as big as a father. I must go to the fair alone. Uncle will say, yes, he can go wherever he likes, for he's grown up. Mother will come from above when I was giving money to my nurse, for I shall know how to open the box with my key. Mother will say, what are you about, naughty child? I should tell her, mother, don't you know I'm as big as a father, and I must give silver to my purse. Mother will say to herself, he can give money to whom he likes, for he's grown up. In the holiday time in October, father will come home and, thinking that I'm still a baby, will bring for me from the town little shoes and small silken frocks. Father, give them to my daughter, for I'm as big as you are, I shall say. Father will think and say, he can buy his own clothes if he likes, for he's a grown up. The lotus. On the day when lotus bloom, alas, my mind was straying and I knew it not. My basket was empty and the flower remained unheeded. Only now and again a sadness fell upon me, and I started up from my dream and felt a sweet trace of a strange fragrance in the south wind. That vague sweetness made my heart ache with a longing, and it seemed to me that it was eager breath of the summer seeking for its completion. I knew not then that it was so near that it was mine, and that his perfect sweetness had blossomed in the depth of my own heart. The merchant. Imagine, mother, that you are to stay home and I am to travel into strange lands. Imagine that my boat is ready for the landing, fully laden. Now think well, mother, before you say that I shall bring for you when I come back. Mother, do you want heaps and heaps of gold? There by the banks of the golden streams, fields are full of the golden harvest. And in the shade of the forest path, the golden champ flower drop on the ground. I will gather them all for you in many hundred baskets. Mother, do you want the pearls as big as the raindrops of autumn? I shall cross to the Pearl Island shore. There is nearly Early morning light pearls tremble on the meadow flowers. Pearls drop on the grass, and the pearls are scattered on the sand in a spray by the wild sea waves. My brother shall have a pair of horses with wings to fly among the clouds. For father I shall bring a magic pen that without his knowing will write of itself. For you, mother, I must have the basket and the jewel that cost 7 kings their kingdom. The rainy day. Sultan, clouds are gathering fast over the black fringe of the forest. O child, do not go out. The palm trees in a row by the lake are smiting their heads against the dismal sky. The crows with their dragged wings are silent on the tamarind branches, and the eastern banks of the river is haunted by the deepening gloom. Our cow is lowing loud ties at the fence. O child, wait here till I bring her into the stall. Men have crowded into the field, in the flooded field, to catch the fishes. As they escape from the overflowing pond, the rainwater is running in rills through the narrow lanes, like the laughing boy too has run away from his mother to tease her. Listen, someone is shouting for the boatsman at the ford. Oh child, the daylight is dim, and the crossing at the ferry is closed. The sky seems to ride fast upon the madly rushing rain. The water in the river is loud and impatient. Women haven't hastened home early from the Ganges with their filled pitchers. The evening lamps must be made ready. Oh child, do not go out. The road to the market is desolate. The lane to the river is slippery. The wind is roaring and struggling among the bamboo branches like the wild bees tangled in a net. The recall. The night was dark when she went away, and the slept night is dark now, and I will call for her. Come back, my darling, the world is asleep, and no one would know if you came for a moment while stars are gazing at stars. She went away when the trees were in bud, and the spring was young, now the flowers are in high bloom, and I called, come back, my darling. The children gathered and scattered flowers in reckless sport, and if you come and take one little blossom, no one will listen. Those that used to play are playing still, so spendthrift is life. I listen to their scatter, to their chatter and call, come back, my darling, for mother's heart is full to the brim with love, and if you come to snatch only one little kiss from her, no one will grudge it. The sailor. The boat of the boatman Madhu is moored at the wharf of Ranchgunj. It is uselessly laden with jute and has been lying there idle for ever so long. If he would only lend me his boat, I should man her 100 oars and hoist sails, fix 5 or 6 or 7. I should never steer her for a stupid market. I should sail the 7 seas and the 13 rivers of fairyland. But mother, you won't weep for me in a corner. I'm not going into the forest like Ramchandra to come back only after 14 years. I shall come back the prince of the story and fill my boat with whatever I like. I shall take my friend Ashu with me. We shall sail merrily across the ever seas and the 13 rivers of fairyland. We shall not sail in the early morning climb. When at noontide you are bathing in the pond, we shall be in the land of the strange king. We shall pass the ford of the Tripurni and leave behind the desert of the Tepantar. When we come back, it will be getting dark, and I shall tell you of all that we have seen. I shall cross the 7 seas and the 13 rivers of fairyland, the source. The sleep that plays on the baby's eyes, does anybody know where it comes from? Yes, there is a murmur that it has its dwelling here in the fairy village among shadows of the forest dimly lit with glowworm. There were 2 shy birds of enchantment. From there it comes to kiss the baby's eyes. The smile that flickers on the baby's lips when he sleeps. Does anybody knows where it was born? Yes, there is a rumor that a young pale beam of the crescent moon touched the edge of the vanishing autumn cloud, and there the smile was first born in the dream of the dew-washing morning. The smile that flickers on the baby's lips when he sleeps. The sweet, soft freshness had blooms on the baby's limbs. Does anybody know where it was hidden so long? Yes, when the mother was a young girl, lay pervading her heart in tender and silent mystery of love and sweet, soft freshness that has bloom on baby's limbs. The sun on the first day. Put the question. The sun of the first day put the question to a new manifestation of life. Who are you? There was the answer. Years passed by him. The last son of the last day uttered the question on the shore of the western sea in the hush of the evening, "Who are you?" No answer came again. The lame bird was in a cage. The tame bird was in a cage. The free bird was in the forest. They met when the time came. It was the decree of fate. The free bird cries, "Oh, my love, let us fly to the wood." The cage bird whispers, "But come hither, let us both live in the cage." Says the free bird among bars, "There is no room to spread one's wings." "Alas," cries the cage bird, "I should not know where to sit perched in the sky." The free bird cries, "My darling, sing the songs of the woodlands." The cage bird sings, "Sit by my side, I'll teach you the speech of the learned." The forest bird cries, No, songs can never be taught." The cage bird says, "Alas for me, I know not the songs of the woodlands." Their love is intense and with longing, but they never can fly wing to wing. They can pass of the cage, they look, and vain as they ever wish to know each other. They flutter their wings in yearning and say, "Come closer, my love." The free bird cries, "It cannot be. I fear the closed door of the cage." The cage bird whispers, "Alas, my wings are powerless and dead." The unheeded pageant. "Ah, who was it colored, that little frog, my child, and covered your sweet limbs with that little red tunic? You have come out in the morning to play in the courtyard, tottering and tumbling as you run. But who was it colored, that little frog, my child? What is it makes you laugh, my little lifebird?" Mother smiles at you standing by the threshold. She claps her hands and her bracelets jingle, and you dance with your bamboo stick in your hand like a tiny little shepherd. "But what is it makes you laugh, my little lifebird? Oh, beggar, what do you need bed for, clinging to your mother's neck with both your hands? Oh, greedy heart, shall I pluck the world like a flower fruit from a sky to place it on your rosy palm? Oh, beggar, what are you begging for? The wind carries away in glee the tinkling of your anklet bells. The sun smiles and watches your toilet. The sky watches over you when you sleep in your mother's arm, and the morning comes, tiptoe to your bed and kisses your eyes. The wind carried away to glee the tinkling of your anklet bells. The fairy mistress of dreams is coming towards you, flying through the twinkling sky. The world mother keeps her seat by you in your mother's heart. He who plays his music to the stars is standing at your window with his flute, and the fairy mistress of the dreams is coming towards you, flying through the twilight sky. The wicked postman. Why do you sit there on the floor so quiet and silent? Tell me, mother dear. The rain is coming as in through the open window, making all you wait, and you don't mind it. Do you hear the gong striking 4? Is it time for my brother to come home from school? What has happened to you? You look so strange. Haven't you got a letter from father today? I saw a postman bringing letters in his bag for almost everybody in his town. Only father's letter he keeps to read for himself. I'm sure the postman is a wicked man. But don't be unhappy about that, mother dear. Tomorrow in market day in the village next, you ask your maid to buy some pens and papers. I myself will write all father's letters. You will not find a single mistake. I shall write from A right up to K. But mother, why do you smile? You don't believe that I can write as nicely as father does? But I shall rule my paper carefully and write all the letters beautifully big. When I finish my writing, do you think I shall be so foolish as father and drop it into the horrid postman's bag? I shall bring it to you myself without waiting, and letter by letter hand to you to read my writing. I know the postman does not like to give you the really nice letters. This dog. Every morning, this dog, very attached to me quietly, keeps sitting near my seat. Till touching his head, I recognize his company. This recognition gives it so much joy, pure delight. It ripples through my entire body. Among all dumb creatures, it is only living being. It has been seeing the whole man. Beyond what is good or bad in him, it has seen for his lovers and sacrifices love. It can love him too for the sake of love alone, for it is he who knows the way to the vast world pulsating with life. When I see his deep devotion, the offer of his whole being, I fail to understand by its sheer instinct. What truth it has discovered in man by its silent, anxious, piteous looks. I cannot communicate what it understands, but it has succeeded in conveying to me among the whole creation what is the true status of man. Threshold. I was not aware of the moment when I first crossed the threshold of this life. What was the power that made me open out into this vast mystery in the bud of the forest of midnight? When in the morning I looked up the night upon the light, I felt in the moment that I was no stranger in this world, that the inscrutable, without name and form, had taken me in his arms in the form of my own mother. Even so, indeed, the same unknown will appear as ever known to me, and because I love this life, I know I shall love death as well. The child cries out when from the right breast the mother takes it away to the very next moment to find in the left one is consolation. 12 o'clock. Mother, I don't want to leave off my lessons now. I have been at my book all the morning. You said it's only 12 o'clock. Suppose it isn't any later. Can't you ever think it is afternoon when it is only 12 o'clock? I can easily imagine now that the sun has reached the edge of the rice field and the old fisherwoman is gathering herbs for her supper on by the side of the pond. I can just shut my eyes and think that the shadows are growing darker under the meadow tree and the water in the pond looks shining black. If 12 o'clock can come in the night, why can't the night come when it is 12 o'clock unending love? I seem to have loved you in numberless forms, the numberless times in life after life, in age after age, forever. My spellbound heart has made and reinvented the reckless of songs that you take as a gift. We are round your neck in your many forms, in life after life, in age after age, forever. Whenever I hear old chronicles of love, its age-old pain, its ancient tale of being apart or together, as I stare on and on into the past in the end of the march, clad in the light of the pole star piercing the darkness of time, you become an image of what is remembered forever. You and I have floated here into the stream that brings from the fount at the heart of the time love of one for another. We have played alongside millions of lovers sharing the same shy swiftness of meeting, the same distressful tears of ever. Oh, love but in shape and that renew and renew forever. Today it is heaped at your feet. It has found its end in you, the love of all man's days, both past and forever. Universal joy, universal sorrow, universal life, the memories of all loves merging with this one love of ours, and the song of 50 poet past and forever, ungrateful sorrow. At dawn chase departed, my mind tried to console me. Everything is Maya, angrily I replied. Here is the swing box on the table, that flower pot on the terrace, that moon-grammed hand fan on the bed. All these are real. My mind said, yet think again. I rejoined, you better stop. Look at this storybook. The happen halfway among its leaves, signaling the rest is unread. If all these things are Maya, then why should they be more unreal? My mind becomes silent. A friend arrives and says that which is good is real. That it is never non-existent. Entire world preserves and cherishes it. It's just like a precious jewel of a necklace in a necklace. I replied in anger, how do you know? Is the body not good? Where did the body go? Like a small boy in rage hating his mother, I began to strike at everything in this world. They gave me a shelter, and I screamed, the world is treacherous. Suddenly I was startled. It seemed like someone admonished me. You ungrateful. I look at the crescent moon hidden behind the timorous tree outside my window. I said, my dear. The dear departed one is smiling and playing hide and seek with me. From the depth of the darkness, punctuated by scattered stars, came the rebuke. When I let you grasp me, you call it a deception, and yet when I remain concealed, why do you hold on to your faith in me with such conviction untimely? Leave. No more noisy, loud words from me, such is my master's will. Henceforth I deal in whispers. The speech of my heart will be carried on in murmurings of song. Men hasten to the king's market, all the buyers and the sellers are there, but I have my untimely leave in the middle of the day, in the thick of the work. Let then the flowers come out into my garden, though it is not their time, and let the midday bees strike up their lazy hum. Full many an hour have I spent in the strife of the good and the evil, but now it is the pleasure of my playmate of the empty days to drive my heart on to him. And I know not why is this sudden call to what useless inconsequence, Anjali. When I call you in your garden, mango blooms were rich in fragrance. Why did you remain so distant and keep your doors so tightly fastened? Blossoms grew to ripe fruit clusters. You rejected my cupped handfuls, closed your eyes to perfectness. In the fierce, harsh storms of the Basak, golden ripened fruit fell trembling. Dust said, defies such offerings. Let your hands be heaven to them, still you show no friendliness. Lampless were your doors at evening, pitch black as I played my veena, how the starlight twanged my heartstrings, how I set my veena dancing. You showed no responsiveness. Sad burst twittered sleeplessly, calling, caused lost companions, gone in right time of for our union. Lo the moon, while still you brooded, sunk in lonely pensiveness. Who can understand another? Heart cannot restrain his passion. I had hoped that some remaining tear-soaked memories would sway you, stir your feet to righteousness. Moon fell at the feet of the morning, loosened from the nice wedding necklace while you slept. Oh, did my Veena lull you with his heartache? Did you dream at least of happiness vocation? When the gong sounds 10 in the morning and I walk into school by a lane, every day I meet a hawk crying bangles, crystal bangles. There's nothing to hurry on. There is no road he must take, no place he must go to, no time that he must come home. I wish I were a hawk, spending my day in the road crying bangles, crystal bangles. When at 4 in the afternoon I come back from the school, I see through the gate of that house the gardener digging the ground. He does what he likes with his spade. He spoils his clothes with dust. Nobody takes him to a task if he gets baked in the sun or gets wet. I wish I were a gardener digging away in the garden with nobody to stop me from digging. Just as he gets dark in the evening and my mother sends me to bed, I can see through my window the watchman walking up and down. The lane is dark and lonely, and the street lamp stands like a giant with one red eye in its head. The watchman swings its lantern and walks with a shadow at his side, and never once goes to bed in its life. I wish I were a watchman walking the streets all night, chasing the shadows with my lantern, waiting. The song I came to sing remains unsung to this day. I have spent my days stringing and in stringing my instrument. The time has not come through. The words have not yet rightly said, only there is the agony of wishing in my heart. I have not seen his face, nor have I listened to his voice, only I have heard his gentle footstep from the road before my house. But the lamp has not been lit, and I cannot ask him into my house. I live in the hope of meeting with him, with his meeting is not yet. We are to play the game of death. We are to play the game of death tonight, my bride and I. The night is black, the clouds in the sky are capricious, and the waves are raving at sea. We have left our bed of dreams, flung open the doors and come out, my bride and I. We sit along upon the swing, and the storm winds gives us the wild push from behind. My bride starts up with fear and delight. She trembles and clings to my breast. Long have I served her tenderly. I made for her a bed for flowers, and I closed the doors to shut out the root light from her eyes. I kissed her gently on her lips and whispered softly in her ears till she half swooned in languor. She was lost in the endless mist of the vague sweetness. She answered not to my torch. My song failed to arouse her. Tonight has come to us the call of the storm from the wild. My bride has shivered and stood up. She has clasped my hand and come out. Her head is flying in the wind, her wheel is fluttering, her garland rustles over her breast. The push of the death has swung her into life. We are face to face and heart to heart, my bride and I. When and why? When I bring you color twice, my child, I understand why there is such a play of colors on clouds and water, and why flowers are painted in tints when I give color twice to you, my child. When I sing to make you dance, you truly know why there's music and leaves, and why waves send their chorus of voices to the heart of the listening earth. When I sing to make you dance, when I bring sweet things to your greedy hands, and I know there is lonely, there is honey in the cup of a flower, and why fruits are secretly filled with sweet dews. When I bring sweet things to your greedy hands, when I kiss your face to make you smile, my darling, I surely understand why pleasure streams from the sky in morning light, and what delight the summer breeze brings to my body when I kiss you to make you smile. The day is done. If the day is done, if birds sing no more, if the wind has flagged tired, Then draw the wheel of darkness thick upon me, even as thou hast wrapped the earth with a coverlet of sleep, and tenderly closed the petals of the drooping lotus at dusk. From the traveller whose sack of provision is empty before the voyage is ended, whose garment is torn and desolate, and whose strength is exhausted, remove shame and poverty, and renew his life like a flower under the covert of the kindly night. When I go alone at night. When I go alone at night to my love tries, birds do not sing, the winds do not stir, the house on both sides on the street stands silent. It is my own anklets that grow loud at every step, and I am ashamed. When I sit on the balcony and listen for his footsteps, leaves do not hustle on the trees, and the water is still in the river, like the sword on the knees of the sentry fallen asleep. It is my own heart that beats wildly. I do not know how to fight it. When my love comes and sits by my side, when my body trembles and my eyelids droop, the night darkens. The wind blows on the lamp, and the clouds draw wheels over the stars. It is the jewel of your own breast, which shines and gives light. I do not know how to hide it. When the two sisters go to fetch the water. When the two sisters go to fetch water, they come to this spot and they smile. They must be aware of somebody who stands behind the trees whenever they go to fetch the water, where shadow chases light. Poems on beauty. Beauty is truth's smile when she beholds her own face in a perfect mirror. Beauty is the ideal of perfect harmony, which is the universal being. Truth is the perfect comprehension of the universal life is given to us. To earn it by giving it, let the dead have the immortality of fame, but the living the immortality of love. Life's error cries for the merciful beauty that can modulate their isolation into the harmony with the whole. Life like a child laugh. Prisoner, tell me, who was it that bound you? It was my master, said the prisoner. I thought I could outdo everybody in the world in wealth and power, and I amassed in my own treasure. How is the money due to my king? When sleep overcame me, I lay upon the bed that was for my lord, and on waking up I found that I was a prisoner in my own treasure house. Prisoner, tell me, who was it that brought this unbreakable chain? It was I, said the prisoner, who forced this chain very carefully. I thought it was my invisible power would hold the world captive, leaving me in a freedom undisturbed. Thus, night and day, I worked at the chain, the huge fires and the cruel hard strokes. When at last the work was done and the links were complete and unbreakable, I found that it held me in its grips. Poems on time. The butterfly counts not months but moments, and has time enough. Time is a wealth of change, but the clock in Miss Parity makes it mere change and no wealth. Let your life be lightly. Dance on the edges of time like dew on the tip of the leaf. Man goes into a nice, noisy crowd to drown his own clamor of silence. Man is immortal, therefore he must die endlessly, for life is a creative idea. It can only find itself in changing forms. Man's abiding happiness is not in getting anything, but in giving himself up to what is greater than himself, to ideas which are larger than his individual life, the idea of his country, of humanity, of God. Love adorns itself, it seeks to prove in what joy by outward beauty. Love does not claim possession, but gives freedom. Love is an endless mystery, for it is nothing else to explain it. Love's gift cannot be given. It waits to be accepted. Life is given to us. We earn it by giving it. Let the dead have the immortality of fame, but the living the immortality of love. Life's elders cry for the merciful beauty that can modulate their isolation into a harmony with the whole. Life like a child laughs, shaking its rattle of death as it runs. Love adorns itself.